Shauli, welcome aboard to the show. So happy to have you here today.
Thanks, Ari. Thanks for having me.
I want to jump right into this. Um, I feel like the purchasing processes that happen online today could be so much better. And my personal experience of it is I just get emails from Amazon that my wife bought something, and then every day something is showing at my doorstep. Um, but she sends back a lot of stuff. So I want to jump into the changing landscape of what consumerism in the United States actually looks like. So here's my first question for you, and I know this is a lot.
Go
Um,
ahead.
are people buying differently today versus 10, 20 years ago? And what does that look like?
So there's definitely an evolution in consumerism. You can see that people are buying more. In general, there's definitely more offering. Prices are fluctuating for sure, but I think e-commerce companies are definitely maximizing, optimizing their website and their offering to make sure that people buy more. And there's obviously the technology layer that's stacked on top of it. In essence, the website, the way it is, hasn't really changed in the last 10 years in many aspects. And now we've seen the first revolution, which is the AI revolution. It really changes everything. But if you look at up to 2 years ago, I would say, before AI became a thing, websites were pretty static. They were the same, gave the same experience of a menu, of a search. Yes, you see reviews. Yes, you get to see some pop-ups, but that's where it was. That's where it stayed up until 2 years ago. And things are now changing because of the ability to have deeper personalization, the entrance of
So
machine learning and AI.
before we get
Yeah.
to machine learning AI, there's been a few humps to get over. So I, 10 years ago said, look, there's a challenge selling clothes or shoes on the internet because you want to wear the clothes and you want to test it out kind of and see that the shoe fits you or whatever. So this issue is no longer an issue now. I don't buy clothes on the internet, but my wife does, and it's a lot. uh, what has changed here? Like, why are we so comfortable today buying on the internet and we weren't 10 years ago? What's changed there?
So definitely the amazing return policies that companies have. There's no doubt that that made a huge impact. The fact that you can return a bed after 11 months and a mattress after you slept on it for 11 months, and that's possible. So people have no risk in buying those things and saying, okay, I'm just going to buy online, and worst case, I'll return it. And a lot of people actually buy all different sizes that they
Yeah,
can because they're not
yeah,
sure about size. They're okay, I'm going to buy small to extra large, and worst case, I'm going to return, almost all of them, and
yeah.
that happens.
That's right. That's
Yeah,
right. So I get $300, and she's like, "Oh, don't worry, I'm gonna return almost everything." I'm like,
yeah.
"Okay."
I
so
get, I
so
get this.
the,
I get exactly the same, exactly the same. And then
so
I have to
so
go. I have to go to UPS and do a
Oh
whole
my Lord.
thing.
Thank God she does that. I mean, once in
Okay.
a while I get tagged, but she does that. Whole Foods, right? They'll do the returns as well. So we go to Whole Foods
Yeah.
um for Amazon. So okay, so return policies have been a huge thing. But what about if you don't know exactly what you want, right? We've had these ideas for a long time about kind of putting the clothes on the person virtually. Did that ever take off, or did that just die and never came around?
It never actually materialized. I've never seen up to now, right? Maybe it's going to change soon, but I've never seen a way where they can actually, I would say, simulate the real experience. In essence, what a lot of online retailers, what they do is they try to get you to measure yourself, and then you have like size guides, and you never actually get it right. And what they get, by the way, is a lot of
Mm,
returns,
yeah.
and they deal with that. And I know it's not great for them. They don't love it, but it's part of the business, part of how they see it.
So something exploded. I can't remember. Is it 2 years ago or more or less? ChatGPT came along. Um, the industry once more, it's been changing with the internet over the last 20 years. I still remember my dad saying, "Oh, the internet's never going to be a thing." Like he actually said that. Um, so, the internet has been changing, but it's been changing slowly over 20 years. And now ChatGPT came along. It's been accelerated a hundredfold. what's changed since ChatGPT in the consumer arena?
So before I jump into that, I have like, something funny to say. Is that when we started the company, my co-founder and I, that was back in 2020, right? And we went to a bunch of investors with a great idea of AI selling, it for e-commerce, and all the investors basically almost all of them said the same exact thing. AI is never going to take off. AI is never going to be a thing. Sorry, we're not investing in
Jody,
AI.
I said that. I said AI is not a thing. I said, and I'm an investor too, so I guess I fall into that category. But I said, look, there's no such thing as AI. It's just machine learning, and these models are kind of crap. They have huge mistakes. Dude, I will say I said that. But then ChatGPT came along, and I was like, holy shit, something changed. Like the
Something.
world has changed, and the thing that I said will be coming in 10 years, it's here now.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's crazy, and it's changing everything, every industry, no doubt, uh, every industry, and we see it up close from the e-commerce space, right? That's what we came to change, and then we
Right.
see the way consumers that when we started the company and when we had our first product out, people were very hesitant about talking to the AI, or they
Mhm.
had an idea of what the chat on the website could do for
Right.
them. The chat on the website is to complain about, where's my order? I want to return, all this stuff. They never even thought about the idea that,
Customer
hey,
success, yeah.
yeah, can AI actually help me in as a real in-store salesperson could? Then,
Right.
then there's no doubt in their mind that there was not even that possibility. It's there to
Oh,
yell at. That's what it's for.
yeah. 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 It was, and we didn't even believe it could do that at that stage, right? It just wasn't good enough.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. What we see now, which is amazing, in the last 2 years, basically, and it's growing every month, is the adoption of
Yeah.
of this form of a chat. So people are so used to AI chat, that it just replaces everything. It replaces search on the website, replaces anything that they know. They just prefer talking to the AI chat
Right.
versus anything else.
Right. It's crazy. I mean, it's almost like everything we knew about user experience, user interfaces is just up for change. And the whole way that we consider, and I feel bad about even calling them chatbots because the whole chatbot failed 2 years ago. This is what's happening now is something completely different. It's AI driven websites. I think it's a different philosophy which people feel much more comfortable with because it's not that small little chat on the bottom right of the screen where you try to talk to it and you're cursing it after 3 minutes because it doesn't understand what you want, and then you're waiting for a human being, because the whole idea is let's try to filter out customers so they don't hit the agents. That's not what's happening today. It's completely different. Here's my question: is this opening up an appetite with the big stores? So are the Targets and the Amazons and the Aries of the world, right? Are they suddenly saying, "Hold on, something's changed. We need to go in deep now. We need to pull out our checkbooks and start spending money"?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. You can see that. I mean, the adoption definitely goes from I would say, the bottom all the way to the top. So obviously, the small e-commerce websites are eager to, like, yes, let's get in. Anything that could save our business, anything that could get us to sell more, we're in. And the big ones are moving slower, of course. But you definitely see this big adoption. It comes now from the Walmarts of the world. Definitely, Amazon is fully in with the. I don't know if you've noticed, as Rufus. That's their AI on a website that its job
What
is
a
to do the same
name!
exact thing. Yeah, I know. Ask for, and its job is to get you to buy and buy more, and
Yeah.
it's doing a great job. And yeah, they came late to the game in that sense, but they're fully invested in it. So there's no doubt that the future is e-commerce websites are going to transform into chat experiences, AI chat experience.
So you know, I'll say something about late to the game. Apple with the iPhone were also late to the game. They were not the first, people to have a touch phone. They were not the first to have a smartphone. So this whole, first to market, I'm not a big fan of it because I see people that come late to the market and dominate. So I don't know if Rufus is any good. I haven't tried it, but I'll give them the benefit of the doubt, even though they're late to the market, so to speak. Um, what do you see the future like? Okay, so we're seeing these chatbots kind of become more an integrated part of the website to the level that they're almost not chatbots anymore. They're just, AI prompting inside of the website. What's the future hold? How is this going to even morph even more?
So there was definitely an evolution from AI as a chat on the website, beginning of, I would say, like when ChatGPT came out, there was full AI that is able to we have a full conversation in a point where like you can't even understand is that a human or an AI. But what I would say was lacking is the ability to perform actions, right, in the back end. And then AI agents came along, right, and all of a sudden the AI has powers to do things, to do actions. So
Hold on.
to
Let's explain this because this
yeah,
is
yeah, yeah,
I think
no
this
problem.
is scary and also very exciting at the same time. And we'll get to the scary in a second. So, what does this mean? Perform actions, right? In the past, you went into your chatbot, you asked them a question. Maybe they knew, maybe they didn't. Very often, they didn't. We didn't have GPT power yet, LLMs, so we're kind of stuck. Now we have the LLM power, and it's like, oh, sweet, this can actually carry a conversation. It has answers, wonderful. But we've taken the next step and the ChatGPT version of this is called Operator. There's, I think, Manus is the Chinese version, but the startups like yours is basically saying, well, we can do an operator inside of this website. We can pull up the shopping cart, we can add carts, we can, pull up a product, we can actually manipulate the website experience to the level that this is not a chatbot. This is now fully integrated into the website. So it's a whole different experience that if you have bitter feelings from chatbots from 2 or 3 years ago. This is something else, right? It's the operator version of the B2C purchasing experience. So I just wanted to stop for a second and bring our audience with this journey. Where do we go from here?
So the way I see it going is in a few years, the chat experience is going to be more important. So the way mobile came to our lives and it was first like a nice gimmick, and then
Yeah.
at some point in transition, people said, "Hey, mobile first, but mobile more important." And today, you could look at the e-commerce websites. The traffic there is 90% mobile, 10% desktop. So desktop is definitely losing to the in the war with mobile. And the way I see it is now there's a new experience, right? The AI chat experience. And that's now maybe has a small scale, but later on it's going to take more of the traffic of the website. And at some point, it's going to completely replace the website. There would be no need for the static website. We scroll down endlessly, let's say, looking for products. Especially because mobile is so common now, 90%, like I said, the experience is really bad, right? So the scrolling and browsing for products, you can take ages just seeing like 20
Yeah.
products, just moving between them, right? So why do you need that when you can move to AI chat, where you can just say, "Hey, recommend something for me. You know me better than I know myself now. You know everything about me. I'm looking for a new shirt. Just go and find me something, right?" And
Yeah.
then ask you a few questions in a conversational way, just like an in-store sales assistant that can say, "Okay, sure, no problem, looking for something special, or you have some event to go to," and then you can tailor the option for you. So that's where it's going. More conversational, less website, and I think that really feel bad for all the Wix of the world. So I think that their role is
Oh,
going to
Wix
be
is Wix is going down. Um,
yeah.
they're not that good to start with because they're not optimized to search engine like they're pretty bad. It's like if you just anyway, I won't go down that rabbit hole. I'm not a fan of Wix. Um, okay, so here's my prediction. Within way less than 10 years, any website that you come into, it will look like a website, but every single one of them will have a prompt at the bottom.
Yeah.
End of story. That's my prediction. Every single website you go into will have a prompt. And sure, you can navigate the website, but you can also just start typing. And
So I
as you
think I
start
think
typing, it's going to change the website.
Exactly. So I think even more, what you'd see is sort of like a chat experience, right? Straight away, maybe with a nice background, but the chat is going to be in the middle. There's no reason to have anything else. Just come in and talk. And this is going to be pictures and images in the background, but the chat is going to be the center, no longer the bottom right side, like you said. It's going to be the
Yeah,
center and say,
absolutely not.
let me know what you're here for. I'm here to help. Right?
Shauli, what an absolute delight. Let's go to the dark side for a second.
Yeah, go for it.
Our audience won't allow me not to do that. Um, AI is getting really sophisticated. Like it can really calculate complex matters. Now, our PII is really not private. It is
Yeah,
available through, third parties. We have all this information collected about us. Um, this is what 10 years ago, where a person started to get like diaper ads before the husband knew about the pregnancy,
yeah,
right? It's at
yeah.
that level, and it hasn't gotten any better. It's gotten worse, right? Um, so now you have personal information from all kinds of websites being combined with a smart AI that can process that information, that is being combined with its ability to actually do things in certain websites, but also outside of that website. Like it can go and do something in your bank account. It can go and order you a flight to wherever you want to go. So we're seeing AI not just give you answers inside of the chat, but it can also do stuff, right?
Yeah.
This is starting to feel like we don't have to have general artificial intelligence in order for something to go really wrong. All we
Oh,
need is a
definitely.
bad prompt and some bad permissions.
On a personal level, yeah. Like personally, yeah, there's no doubt that I think that in at some point you're going to use your own operator to do everything for you, right? You're not going to do things, day-to-day things. You're not going to do chores. You're just going to let the operator run things for you. And it's very likely that the operator will make mistakes based on the things that the operator thinks that you want to do, right? Like I don't know, like it could be. I can give I don't know, let's say a very
Money
basic
transfer
example.
to the wrong, right? Like,
Exactly, exactly. Oh, someone's birthday is coming. Maybe they'll buy a gift for that someone's birthday, and you're like, I don't want to. I don't want
it's
to
like,
buy a gift for
oh,
that
buy a
person.
gift to the lover, and then your wife gets the the
Exactly,
notification. It's like this.
exactly.
I mean, it just feels and like okay, so whatever system you give permissions to the AI, and it can manipulate. Like, think of somebody malicious coming along, and the worst thing that they can do, the AI can be making a mistake. So that's one part of it. But hold on, let's bring security into this. What if your AI agent, which has permissions to your stuff, gets hacked by a malicious AI? Like, it's starting to get really scary. How do we think about all this private information with all this intelligence to process the data, and yet I don't want organized crime or hackers getting access to my agent, to my AI? If it's my website and I'm a commercial entity, or if I'm a private person running, my operator to do stuff for me, how do we protect ourselves?
I mean, luckily, we're talking about really big companies in the end, like OpenAI and Anthropic, and they're facing those problems every day. There's no doubt that they're facing problems of security, and they're trying to really secure your operator or your client, your AI client, and you're trying to make sure it's secure. And there's no way for you to access that without a two-way of authentication. And so they're doing their best to do that. But obviously, if there's going to be open source AI models that will give their services for free, and they might not be that secure. Or if you're using a Chinese one, and that's
Yep.
definitely not as secure as you might think. So yeah,
Oh,
there's
there's no
definitely a
way in
risk.
hell
No,
that
there's
the
no.
Chinese,
Yeah,
Manus and all those guys are not
yeah.
backdoor to the government.
Oh, for
Going
sure.
into your social, what do they call it? Their social score, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like no way in hell that the Chinese social score is not being fed by your prompting in AI. Like no way.
I,
Like I don't
I,
believe that.
I agree. I agree. I agree. And yeah, so it's like, let's say at your own peril, if you're
Yeah,
using any of those, those cheaper, somewhat cheaper versions of ChatGPT, basically. So yeah, so there's a lot of security risks. There's no doubt, but it was the same thing with using social media and the fact that your profile is public and someone can hack your profile at any moment.
yeah,
So it's the same thing. The risk is obviously bigger.
yeah.
I mean, it's not as, when someone
Yeah.
hacks your Facebook profile, they can blast, tell your, all your friends that I don't know, something bad about you. But here it's, yeah, you're right. It's
Stakes are
gonna
higher.
have, yeah, it's gonna have access to your bank account,
Yeah.
probably, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, there's no doubt.
It's maybe it's not tomorrow, but it's gonna happen. Why wouldn't we ever get to that stage? So it does become scary. Um,
Sure.
every time I use Manus, I'm like, I love Chairman Mao. With his permission, let me ask the following prompt.
Try to ask questions about the Chinese government.
Oh,
It's funny.
it makes it disappear a second later, right?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, tell me about Tiananmen Square. It's like this answer
Exactly.
cannot be provided, but it gives the answer and then it disappeared. Like that was a
Yeah,
thing for a while.
it was a point where like I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Oh,
Nothing happened.
it was all good. It was all
Yeah,
good.
nothing
Um,
happened. What do you mean?
I don't believe that the Americans don't have a backdoor into ChatGPT. They're just much more subtle about it. But all
I mean,
governments are
yeah,
doing
yeah.
that,
I mean,
right?
there was a big story of the American government, U.S. government, obviously having a link to Facebook and being able to retrieve
Yeah.
information.
But
So I don't know. Might be the same. I don't
look,
know
I
with
mean,
OpenAI.
this generation, right? To a degree, my generation, we're the same generation, and our kids, they've kind of relinquished all privacy, so it's almost like we don't care anymore. But I think that's dangerous. So, and then like, oh, why are we blaming government? We're just giving this stuff on open profiles. So,
Exactly. They
so that's a
definitely prefer convenience over privacy. Like if
yeah.
it could do stuff for me, I don't need to work. Yeah, give my details, no problem.
Yeah, that's gonna
Yeah.
bite us in the ass one
Oh,
day, and we're gonna figure it out.
oh, for sure, for sure. But it's going to be companies that's their job, and then cybersecurity companies that are going to rise, and they will secure people. That's just how it
It's
goes.
the virus antivirus paradigm,
Yeah,
right? I
exactly.
completely agree with you. I think that's very insightful. Okay, Shodi, we have only one. This has been so much fun. We're out of time. There's only
No
one
problem.
question we ask every single guest.
Okay.
If you had to go back, and this is a personal question, it's hard to answer. Take your time. If you had to go back to 20-something-year-old Shauli, what would the advice be that you would give him?
What would the advice be? So when I was in my 20s, I traveled the world for a year. I was traveling in all over South America for a whole year. So my advice would be to extend the trip and travel more.
I think that's we don't travel that much. In fact, if you know the stats, I think 50% of the Americans, something like that, don't have a passport, right? So I'll just reinforce your comments, and let me ask you this: what did the international travel South America? What did it do for you? How did it change you? In what way?
So I think that it was the first time in my life I was really exposed to other cultures,
Mm.
a lot of other cultures. It was like basically all the backpackers from all over the world. So so many different nationalities, and obviously the places where I visited. So from Argentina all the way to Colombia, and I got to really you know learn the local culture of Latin America, which was amazing. So for me, it was mind opening, just like to really understand that there's a bigger world out there and different people out there, and accept other people. So that was definitely a big change for me.
I love it. Sholi, thank you so much for joining today. This has been
Thank
absolutely
you, Ari.
delightful.
Thanks, Ari.